then 2 years ago, in 2013, when the Geneva Convention for Academic and Business Sciences was conducted, the analysis showed that at that year, more people and more companies preferred to hire men with the same qualifications as women just because they were men. The reality is that the status quo exists and that nothing is changing for women empowerment, and that's a status quo that opposition has failed to engage with. 3 points of contention. 1, does our model create a new form of oppression? No. 2, does our model empower women? Yes. And 3, does our model change the mindsets of negative woman perceptions? Yes. Before I get there, a little bit of framework analysis from the framework that opposition has used. Because they've told us that a problem exists, that women are still undermined to a certain degree, and they give us a lot of analysis in their first speaker as to why certain stereotypes exist in society. Yet they've been afraid to engage with the reality that we do limit choice of people in certain instances when it benefits our society and when it benefits things specifically in stereotypes because we need to solve these problems. They've tried to be politically correct in this debate and have not shown us why political correctness is valuable over the real tangible benefits that our model brings. First point of contention. Do we form a new point do we create new oppression? And the strategic importance of this point is that that's all that opposition has debated today. They've told us that we've created a new form of oppression, and if I take out this point, it means that they have no case to stand on. First sub-point, in terms of choice, because opposition told us that we don't like the fact that we limit a woman's choice of making a choice to whether or not they want to have or want to do maths and sciences at school level. To that we tell you, 1, in order to redress the inequalities of the past, you must first balance the scale of the disadvantage that exists in the status quo. What this means is that women are currently at a disadvantage, and to enable equality to be achieved and then to further empower women by giving them that choice, we must first limit that choice so that that scale can be balanced. Second, we tell you that we limit choice all the time. They've never told us any sense of analysis as to why why in the status quo we force people to take maths up to grade 9. We force people till matric to take maths or maths lit. These things may be hard for certain people, but we still force them to do it because of social utility. We want them to have these skills. 3, they told us this argument about there's certain women who don't want to simply take these subjects because it's not going to help them later on in life. 3, we asked you, is maths and science really not going to help you later on in life? The purpose of school is to empower you for life, is to give you the necessary education and skills in order to achieve a job and to work in the working world. The things that you learn in these subjects can be applied to everyday realities and can be applied in life. So we don't see why the benefits of maths and science that can be accrued by taking it doesn't exist. 4, still under choice, we tell you that if the choice that they want to value is women not taking maths and science, so if they want to value that choice, we tell you that that choice is invaluable. Why? Because the incentives for women to not take maths and science have been premised on their ideologies that they are not good enough to take maths and science. That's why we're forcing them to do it. 5, we tell you that we broaden the education spectrum in any case, and that gives them a benefit. We still see where we can limit choice because of these 5 benefits I've outlined. The next thing they told us was that, well, people who want to become marine biologists are going to take the subjects to become marine biologists anyway. But we tell you that the society exists on a spectrum. On one end of the spectrum, we have people that can take these subjects and do well at it. We're cool with those people. On the other end of the spectrum, we have people who aren't able to take these subjects. Why? Because of their oppressive homes. And this is analysis we brought to you in our first speaker that were totally unrebutted. They cannot take maths and sciences. 1, because they live in rural communities and Zulu communities, which actively tell women that they're not allowed to take these subjects. These are niche male subjects. Okay? Second, because they don't believe that they're good enough to take it anyway. We force them to take it. We allow them to gain this knowledge. Next, we tell you that the people that are in the middle of the spectrum, they don't really know where they stand, whether they want to take it, whether they can't, or don't want to take it, or whether they can or they can't. To them, we tell you that we further empower them because these are the people who don't believe that they can take it because they won't do well at it, and we think that they don't suffer in any case our model is beneficial to them. That deals with that. Next, they told us that they don't like this because it's going to be really difficult for people to pass. And there's analysis in their second speak about how if people fail and drop out of school, that's really detrimental. To which we tell you, number one, that's just an argument for greater regulation and for greater tuition. If you want tuition, we'll give you tuition. Two, we tell you we're far better for the education system because now we have a greater pool of people, no thank you, greater pool of people taking these subjects, which incentivizes governments to empower these sectors and pump in more resources there, train teachers better, use more workshops to ensure that teachers are adequately equipped in maths and sciences to make these people pass, to teach them properly so that they can pass, be better for the education system. Three, we tell you that you box people anyway, and they try to be very correct, politically correct, and say that, well, boxing people is really bad. But we box people anyway, A, academically, that's why there's like university pass requirements to get in. B, we tell you that, well, I already told you that we limit choice anyway, and so it's okay to box people. I've shown you why opposition's model doesn't stand because it doesn't create oppression. Next point of contention, how can we empower women? Now, we've given you a lot of analysis in our first speaker speech. We told you about why we care about disadvantaged peoples and why we think we ought to care for them. Then we told you why women were disadvantaged, and then we told you how we address this. None of that analysis really got touched. The only thing that we heard from that side of the house was that they assume that women in a status quo can get jobs. They undermine the reality of the situation, that women just aren't economically capable of getting these jobs. They told us that BEE is sufficient to redress this problem. But if BEE was sufficient to redress this problem, we wouldn't be in need of such a catalyst. We wouldn't be seeing women not being CEOs and being undermined. Women are still empowered, that point stands. Second and last contention of this debate, in terms of changing mindsets. This is analysis our second speaker brought to you. We told you that mindsets exist, gender sexist mindsets exist in our society, and because maths and sciences are subjects that require cognitive thinking and analytical skills in a high demanding sense, we tell you that that gives a greater value to these subjects. They told us that, well, history teaches like maths and history teaches analytical skills too. A, they can still take history under our model. B, subjects exist on a gradient of analysis. History teaches you analysis, yes, but on the top end of that gradient are maths and sciences. These are the subjects that teach you the most analysis and require the most cognitive theoretical thinking. We're not being bad to people who take tourism. We think that there's a place for them, but we value those with analytical theoretical thinking. We give women we allow them to have greater respect because we empower them with more skills to get jobs. Ladies and gentlemen, we change the mindsets, we empower women, and our model does not form oppression. Thank you.